بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. On behalf of Understand Quran Academy, I'd like to welcome you to this introductory session. In this, I would like to introduce this work and the background that has gone into preparing this course. I'm talking about the course Understand Quran the Easy Way, and the booklet that goes with it, Understand Quran the Easy Way. First of all, let me introduce myself. I would say that my position is between scholars and masses. I have learned from scholars and I'm conveying this message to masses. For past several years I was involved, alhamdulillah, in teaching this simple course to different people for understanding Quran, and also I was involved in doing some reading and second language teaching methods and brain or memory research, or the work done in brain and memory, and so on. And the course that has been developed is based on the input from several scholars and different approaches that have been used in different parts of the world. Understand Quran Academy has the vision to make the learning of Quran most interesting as well as easy. That's our vision, to make this learning the most interesting of all the subjects as well as the easy. If Quran is for the whole world, that is, what I mean is most of the world is non-Arab, then it should be easy. And that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also said, وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ. Indeed, we have made this Quran easy. For what easy? For dhikr. Dhikr means to understand and to take admonition. And also, if Quran is written by Allah for humans, it should be most interesting book. That is, a book that should appeal strongly to their intellect as well as their heart. It has to be like that. But unfortunately, a majority of non-Arabs do not know Quran. Maybe not even 1 or 2% know, and even fewer or less number is exposed to hadith. Our youngsters, especially our teenagers, who are under different pressures from media, from newspapers, from TV, or from their peers or friends, or because of lack of masjid's role or lack of parental guidance, or the atmosphere surrounding them, are almost confused about Islam. They are not confident about it. And this is also true, especially true because they don't know Quran. If we are able to link these teenagers with Al-Quran, the book of guidance, then inshallah they can face this world with confidence. They can convey the true message of Islam. They can practice as well as convey the true message of Islam. Why? As we know, the solution to all the problems are there in Quran and Sunnah. All we have to do is just establish the link between our teenagers, or ourselves, our masses, with the Quran, and inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of them, will guide them through His book. And of course, if we also convey to them the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ, then if they have Quran and Sunnah in their hands, inshallah they will never be misguided. Most importantly, the general impression, the biggest obstacle in this part was that Quran was taken as a very difficult book, very difficult to understand. Nobody told them that understanding Quran could be very easy. We can talk about different things, but what I want to come to is Quran can be understood in approximately 200 hours of learning. The complete Quran can be understood in 200 hours of learning. If you spare 200 hours, inshallah, you can understand Quran from Al-Fatiha to Nas. And when we say it can be understood, let us be clear about it. It is not for interpretation. Our focus is that we will be able to understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us. We will not be able to interpret Quran. We will not be able to do tafsir of Quran. What I mean is to understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us. To do tafsir of Quran, you have to invest a full life. You need a lifetime of investment. That is something else. What our objective is, that we are able to do tafakkur and tadabbur and tadhakkur. We think, we understand, we ponder the verses, and we take lessons. We take admonition, we learn. We will be able to know as to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us. That is our objective. The challenge is to give a smooth start to understanding of Quran, and this course is that starter course, inshallah, which will help people start smoothly. This course has 60 lessons. This course has 60 lessons. Each lesson is of approximately 25 to 30 minutes. The complete course is less than 30 hours, or you can say 30 hours. It is designed for schools as well as for general masses. It contains simplified grammar, and it contains daily and frequent recitations, and it will cover, inshallah, 70% of the vocabulary of the Quran. The Quran has 78,000 words, approximately 78,000 words. A lot of them are repeated. In this course, we will learn certain number of words which are repeated up to 70% in the Quran. So, if we include repetition, I would say in every session we'll be learning 1,000 words of the Quran, almost. My focus in this teaching is basically secular institutions, especially school students and college students. Also, madaris, if they don't have any efficient system for learning the Quran or easy system, this can help them if they want to. And general public, masses. As I have told you earlier that I was working on or reading different materials on language learning, language teaching, second language learning, or research on brain and memory. I would like to share some of them. First of all, let's come to our brain. There are 1 trillion cells in our brain. There are 1 trillion cells in our brain, and we use rarely 5% of our brain. We rarely use even 5% of the brain. What does it mean? It means that learning Arabic or understanding Quran is very easy for us if we intend to do that. Nobody should say that, well, it is difficult because I am old, or I have I cannot learn a language, or it is too difficult for me. Nothing of that sort should come up in this issue. It's like a person who is living in a gold mine and is starving, and he says that I am starving because I don't have money. Any person who says that I cannot understand Quran, I cannot learn Quran, really is not utilizing his potential. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed him tremendously. Blessed each one of us. And in fact, according to those people who have worked on brain research, they say that learning a second language is easier than learning your mother tongue. If you have learnt your mother tongue, which all of us have, then learning a second language is much easier. We should develop that attitude to learn, actually. And I would say learning Quran is even easier because it is the book of Allah. We will have special blessings as we learn Al-Quran. About associations, I would like to also say, because the whole business in learning Quran for a non-Arab is to learn new words. So we should know as to how our brain learns new words. Each word, when I say our brain has 1 trillion cells, the brain doesn't work like the lamp is stored in one cell, this wall is stored in another cell, the roof in third cell. No, it doesn't work like that. Brain works with association. Each of these cells link with each other for everything that we learn. So when we learn a new word, for example ja'ala, then a certain connection is created between these cells. If you look at a cloudy sky, and if you look lightning, you will see a line of light connecting between different particles. Just like that, something like that. When we learn, for example, ja'ala, the sound makes one connection. The way it looks makes another connection, visual connection. Meanings, for example, make another connection. Shape of the word creates another connection. So there are a number of connections which are created. Mother tongue link makes another connection. Emotions, smell or story or spelling, all these. And if there is a picture, that will make a stronger connection, because we say picture is worth 1,000 words. And if there is movement associated with it, even stronger connection is made. So our intention, our approach should be to utilize as many connections while learning Al-Quran as possible, especially when we are learning new words of the Quran. And you will see that we have done part of this when we come to TPI, total physical interaction, huwa, hum, anta, antum, or fa'ala, fa'al. A lot of research has been conducted on second language learning, especially for English language. Unfortunately, we have not utilized that research for learning Arabic. There are many techniques which are available for learning languages, like Pimsleur approach or Rosetta Stone approach, or many approaches you can browse through internet and you will come across. We have used different tips from these approaches, as you will see. We have also used index cards, the concept of using index cards, and in fact we have developed this booklet. This booklet contains words and meanings of 50 lessons. Total number of lessons is 60. 10 of them are, the last 10 are for revision. So for first 50 we have, for each lesson there is one page of vocabulary. You can carry this booklet with you till you finish the course. Just make a promise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you'll never remove this booklet from your pocket. Always carry it with you until you complete the course. We have also looked into different teaching models, and our teaching model is interactive and also variety based. It's not monotonous. There are 3 to 4 different activities, different things that are dealt in this class. Our focus is on understanding Quran, not on Arabic language learning. There is a difference. There is a difference between that. Language learning involves 2 modes: reception and production. Reception is listening and reading, and production is speaking and writing. Our focus is on listening and reading, not on writing or speaking. We will never ask you to translate anything into Arabic. Always we will ask, whenever we ask, we'll ask you to translate from Arabic to your mother tongue. And that makes a huge difference in terms of ease, because the brain doesn't work automatically in the other direction. You have to train it. And right now our focus will be on translation, and this makes learning easier. Okay, that's one important point that comes from this aspect. Another aspect is more focus in this course is given to sarf, on word construction, than on nahv, which is sentence construction. Why? Because we are learning Arabic of Al-Quran through translations. We are not, suppose, if there were no translations available to us, then we would have to we would have had to learn nahv also, that is sentence constructions, to know how what a sentence means. But because we are learning Al-Quran through existing translations, we do not need to focus that much on nahv. I will give you examples. Let's say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. If I tell you Alhamdu, all praise, Lillahi, for Allah, Li, for Allah, Rabb, the Lord, Alamin, of the worlds. Nobody will say that Allah is for praise. A Muslim will never say Allah is for praise. He will always say all praise is for Allah. Similarly, Rabbul Alamin, Lord of the worlds. Nobody will say world of the Lords or worlds of the Lord, because he's a Muslim, and once he looks at translation, first time, if he looks at the translation, then he will never forget. He will always translate it like that all praise is for Allah, the Lord of the worlds. It doesn't mean that we will skip nahv. We will also focus on nahv, but later on, and in second stages. But in this stage, or this level 1, we will be focusing little on nahv and more on sarf. Sarf is word construction. For example, ja'ala. If I teach you ja'ala, that means he made. In Arabic there are many forms of ja'ala. Ja'alu, ja'alta, ja'altum, yaj'aluna, taj'aluna, ja'il, maj'ul, ja'al. So if I teach you all these forms, then inshallah you will be very comfortable while translating, because you will know all the forms. So focusing on sarf is very important, and that's why you will see in this course that a lot of attention is given on word construction. There's another aspect that has been utilized in this course. A typical Muslim pronounces 50 to 100 sentences in Arabic every day, in his salat, in his 5 daily prayers and supplications, and he practices them 5 times a day. He uses almost 200 words every day. So an ideal situation will be to teach Arabic or Al-Quran starting from these aspects. Instead of looking for another text, let us start from these contents, so that he's as he's learning, he's immediately practicing also. So we have used that aspect also. So the challenge was in front of us. The challenge in front of us was to design a course such that they understand what they recite every day. They start with understanding what they recite every day, and teach them grammar in a simplified manner, and especially focus on word construction, and give them frequently occurring words cover as many frequently occurring words of the Quran as possible. So this course has addressed these three issues. It is based on daily and frequent recitations, and as you will see through the course that the grammar that has been taught in this is based on very simplified approaches. And thirdly, we have covered almost all of the frequently occurring words of the Quran. By frequently occurring means those words which have occurred more than 50 times and so on. At the end of 60 sessions or 30 hours, inshallah, you will be able to learn, or you will be able to know almost all of the words of every line of the Quran except two, on the average. On the average, in every line of the Quran, and on any page, on the average, you will be left with only two new words. The rest will be known to you in a mushaf of 600 pages, a normal mushaf. I will also give another example, that if your vision is blocked 30%, if you can see 70% of the view, then you can make a lot of sense out of it. You can still survive, you can still walk. So similarly, after finishing this course of 30 hours, you will know so much of vocabulary, inshallah, that you will be able to see a lot. For example, if you're listening the story of Adam alayhi salam, you will be able to make a lot of things. And when you will see the translation, inshallah, you will have a lot of support. You can sail very smoothly after that. Now I will mention some of the unique features of the course one by one. First of all, this is a course of approximately, as I said, 25 hours to 30 hours to help you learn 70% of the vocabulary of Quran, which is almost 55,000 words out of 78,000. I'm including repetition in both cases. 55,000 of the 78,000 words of the Quran. So that's wonderful, because if a person is investing only 25 to 30 hours and learning 55,000 words of the Quran, I think it's a huge blessing and one should never miss it. So what we say is spare just 25 minutes every day, and inshallah you are on your way to realizing the dream of understanding Quran. Number 3, start the understanding of Quran using what you recite every day. No need to look for any other text. You don't have to go for example, tuffahun or burtahada, burtuqalun, nothing which has not been used in the Quran. We will go directly for the text which we are familiar with and which will be relevant to the Quran. This course, that is in this book of 60 sessions, Understand Quran the Easy Way, has 3 main parts. Daily recitations, frequent recitations, and some extra verses. By daily recitations, we mean 3 things. Again, Surah Al-Fatiha and last 10 surahs, parts of Salah, Namaz, and supplications, Ad'iyah. These 3 things. Okay? Those are daily recitations. And by frequent recitations, we mean 10 to 15 verses of Surah Al-Baqarah, some from beginning, and Ayat Al-Kursi and the 2 verses after it, and the last 3 verses, and last of Surah Al-Hashr, and 5 verses which we often hear in Khutbat Al-Jum'ah, and Surah Al-Qari'ah, Takathur, Asr, and Humaza. These constitute frequent recitations. And then we have some extra verses which are not too many, just 2 pages, equivalent to 2 pages of Al-Quran. Not many. So this course consists of these 3 main parts. In addition to these 3, we have 2 hadiths, and also we learn 1 sentence, a part of it, a phrase, of spoken Arabic. Okay, in every session we will learn small sentences of spoken Arabic. Okay, number 4. Immediately start realizing the benefits in your prayers and supplications, and thereby improve the relationship with Allah. So if you have learned Surah Al-Fatiha today, tomorrow you will go and pray, or next Salah you will pray, another, in that Salah you will pray Al-Fatiha, and you will know what you're reciting. So you will see the immediate benefits of learning through this course. Practice what you have learned right from day one. Start practicing what you have learned by talking to Allah, not only to people, I would say not to people but to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with understanding. Number 5, that is 5th unique feature. Each session has 3 different activities which keeps the participant alive throughout the session. It is not a monotonous one session. We have recitation of hadith actually, which is not mentioned, but we start with recitation of hadith. It takes 1 to 2 minutes. Then we have spoken Arabic, session for spoken Arabic, which takes 2 minutes. Then we have session for grammar, which takes 7 to 8, 9, 10 minutes maximum. And then the rest of the time for Quran or adhkar based on ahadith, like parts of Salah or daily supplications. So that's how it is distributed. So we have 4 different activities in each session, and it definitely keeps participants alive because of this variety. Also, as I mentioned, that is our 6th point, is learn at least 1 spoken Arabic sentence in each session. That also helps in creating a positive attitude towards learning a new language. It's very important. However small these sentences are, we should try to, or however few these sentences are, we should try to practice these and develop a positive attitude towards learning Arabic. Feature number 7 is each session is interactive if conducted in a group. That is, it is not like I will be talking to you throughout the session and you will be quietly sitting. No, this is completely interactive. After hadith, after I finished hadith, and in fact even that part can be shared by different people, like today you will read hadith, tomorrow you, and so on. But from then on, spoken Arabic, grammar and Quran or adhkar is completely interactive, as you will see. Nobody will sit idle. Number 8, learn Arabic grammar as well as almost all important verb patterns by devoting just 8 to 10 minutes in each session. You will see that by the end of the course you will have learned almost all important aspects of especially word construction. All different chapters of fi'l, as you will know later on. In fact, you will be very, very inshallah good in learning all these different shades or types of patterns of fi'l. Thulathi, Mujarrad and Mazid Fi. You will know them later on. Number 9. Learning Arabic grammar perhaps has never been so easy and simple. A new approach to this practice of grammar, that is TPI or total physical interaction or total physical response, has been used. What we say is use as many faculties as possible. As we said earlier, when we mentioned about research on brain or the way the brain works, the more associations you give to word, the faster you learn. You see the word, you pronounce it, you look at its meaning, you act on it, you show what it means, or you smell it, or you feel it, or you have emotions associated with or you have a story for that word. The more associations you have, the quicker or easier it is to learn that word. For learning grammar, what we did is we think it, see it, show it, okay, and say it. Think it, see it, say it, and show it. And I would just like to give you one example of this TPI. Is we say, for example, in the first session we will learn huwa, hum, anta, antum, ana, nahnu. Huwa, you'll use your right hand, and with one finger you will show it to your right, and you will think, you will assume that's one person, somebody sitting on your right, and you're pointing towards him. Huwa, with one finger. Hum, with 4 fingers you will point, and you will say hum, they. Anta, you will point towards me, and I will point towards you, and you will say anta, you. Antum, with 4 fingers, I will say all of you, and you will point towards me, assuming that there are a couple of people sitting with me, and you will say antum. Ana, each one will point towards himself, and nahnu. If we do this practice in group for, I would say, 4 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes, huwa, hum, anta, antum, ana, nahnu, we can learn this part so easily. Let us do this practice just for 1 minute. Repeat after me. Huwa, he. Huwa, he. Hum, they. Anta, you. Antum, all of you. Ana, I. Nahnu, we. Huwa, he. Hum, they. Anta, you. Antum, all of you. Ana, we, I. Nahnu, we. You see, the immediate benefit of using these signs is that I don't need to translate now. I will just repeat Arabic words, or say Arabic words, and you will repeat Arabic only. Now say huwa, hum, anta, antum, ana, nahnu. Huwa, hum, anta, antum, ana, nahnu. Huwa, hum, anta, antum, ana, nahnu. If I continue this practice for 3 to 4 minutes, I am sure you will learn almost all of these words. I have not used grammatical terms while teaching this. I have not said I didn't tell you that this is third person, second person, first person, singular, plural, and these are pronouns and personal pronouns or detached pronouns or damair muttasil. All I am concerned is that you learn what he, them, they, you, all of you, I, and we is in Arabic, or what words are used for these these persons. And at the end of this exercise, huwa, hum, anta, antum, ana, nahnu, after 3 to 4 minutes of exercise, at the end of which I am sure you will learn almost all of them, I would say that you have learned almost 1160 words of Al-Quran. Why? Because these words, these 6 words, have come 1160 times in the Quran. So this grammar session becomes more exciting and attractive, and that's why I say don't ever feel shy in using these signs, because this is not limited to huwa, hum, anta, antum, ana, nahnu. As you will see, it has far-reaching implications. In this introduction I will not say that, but just I will repeat one complete conjugation of word fa'ala, verb fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu, fa'alta, fa'altum, fa'altu, fa'alna, yaf'alu, yaf'alun, taf'alu, taf'alun, af'alun, af'alu, if'al, if'alu, la taf'al, la taf'alu, fa'il, maf'ul, fi'l. And you will see that by practicing different verbs in this way, you will learn hundreds of verbs very easily. If you were to sit down like this and memorize these meanings, you will be lost. It's not possible to remember them easily. In fact, this part has been made so simple, alhamdulillah, that each session will be very easy for you and very exciting compared to any other class where these verbs are taught in groups and people get disappointed, and that's the time where or when the students start dropping classes. Generally we see people coming in large numbers at the beginning of the class. Alhamdulillah, our people, or this ummah, has interest in learning Quran. Whenever there is an announcement about learning Quran, people come in large numbers. Let's say the first class 50 people come, and the next class 25, third class 10. Why? Because they're not, they find difficulty in learning. And I would say part of if not whole, part of the responsibility is on teacher also, to make it simple, to make it interesting. So this total physical interaction makes learning of grammatical verbs very easy and very interesting. You will see, you may have noticed that we have dropped the forms for dual, huma, antuma. They are very important, but we will learn them later. Similarly, we have dropped feminine gender in the beginning. It is important, but if you learn all these forms in the first class, then it will be very difficult for the student. And also because in Al-Quran, dual and feminine gender has not come that much frequently. So we have focused on masculine gender and singular and plural only. We will learn feminine gender also during this course itself, but not in the beginning. There are many different ways that this method, TPI, total physical interaction, has been used. I'm not going to discuss about that now. Now let's come to 10th feature. Every time you practice a grammar session of 5 to 7 or 10 minutes, you will be shown as to how closer you are to understanding of Quran. That is, for example, if you practice qala, qalu, qulta, qultum, qultu, qulna, yaqulu, yaqulun, taqulu, taquluna, quluna, qulu, qul, qulu, la taqulu, qa'il, maqul, qawl. At the end of this session, which will be very easy when you will practice it, you will be told that, mashallah, in these 5 minutes or 6 minutes, you have learned 1,600 or 700 words of the Quran. So it becomes very exciting that if you're learning 5, 6, those, of course, they are only less than 20 words, but these 20 words have come 1,700 times in the Quran, approximately. So is it not exciting? So each grammar session, which should be boring, becomes exciting, becomes more interesting. In fact, we always say that let us do it with love, because this is getting us closer to Quran in leaps and bounds. Okay. Number 11. Learn interesting examples of false links to remember some of the odd rules of grammar. You will see these interesting examples when feminine gender will be used, anta taf'al, hiya taf'al, or broken plural, or other rules which will come later on. One more, I remember one more example of total physical interaction that we have used in this course is for up and down and right and left and front and back. We have used this prayer, which is recited while one goes to the masjid. Allahumma ja'al fi qalbi nura, wa fi lisani nura, wa fi sam'i nura, wa fi basari nura, wa min fawqi nura, wa min tahti nura, wa an yamini nura, wa an shimali nura, wa min amami nura, wa min khalfi nura, wa ja'al fi nafsi nura. And you will see that when we practice this prayer with TPI, with total physical interaction, it becomes very interesting and very easy to learn. And simultaneously you learn all these directions, and you will not forget what each direction means. We have also simplified the grammar, as I have told you. We have in the beginning stages we have deleted feminine gender and dual, and that reduces the number of forms that we learn to 12 from 28. Originally it is 28 for past and present. It is reduced to 12. Similarly, imperative and negative is reduced to 4 instead of 6. And we have also developed master tables and posters that can be used in any class. These posters are given at the end of the book in appendix on page A3 and A4, at the end of the book basically. And these posters can be hung in the class on the wall, and they are very helpful. And even in these posters we have tried to use interesting examples, like for past tense we have italic, or past tense we have a plane taking off, at the end there are changes. The explanation is given there. Similarly, we have other two master tables for all different types of triliteral verbs. It's a beautiful table. I think you will know it when you learn it. And also all different types of triliteral verbs with extra letters. فعل, 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 أفعل, تفعل, تفعل, and so on. We have other examples of interesting examples to learn in these odd rules of grammar, like that for weak letters, waw, alif, ya, and so on. But I'm not going to talk about that now. 12th unique feature of this course is, at the end of 50 sessions, we have 10 revision sessions. In these revision sessions, all of the frequently occurring words of the Quran are covered in these 10 sessions. So let's continue. So at the end of these 50 sessions, the course is actually of 50 sessions, and the last 10 sessions are for revision. And we will revise the whole learning in these special 10 sessions where all frequently occurring words are listed. And another feature is, not only they are listed, but to remember these words, each word or verb is followed with an example, or an example is given for each word or verb. As I mentioned in the beginning, that it is easier to remember the meaning of a word in context. So if, for example, a'ta means gave. If you are not able to remember the meaning of word a'ta, just remember inna a'tainaka al-kawthar. So because of the context, it will be very easy for you to recall the meaning of word a'ta. So for all these words or verbs, we have example. So remember those examples, it will be much easier to remember the meanings. So they are extremely important sessions in which not only we will practice different patterns of verbs, but also give you context for each of the word or noun or verb. Number 14. Yes, that is, in these revision sessions we will learn all important verb patterns, like fa'ala, or bab fataha, bab nasara, bab daraba, bab sami'a, and muda'af, mithal, ajwaf, naqis, and mahmuz, and taf'il, bab if'al, bab istif'al, bab tafa'al. All those patterns are covered, and under each pattern you will see number of examples. 15th point is, we have 16 quizzes and 2 exams which will help you evaluate your progress and also encourage you to revise and continue. So it is not learning, but there are quizzes after, on the average of every 5 or 6 sessions. 16th is, if you have trouble or problem studying this book, Understand Quran, then we have CD, which is produced by the Academy. And with the CD you can participate along with the audience that is recorded in the CD throughout these sessions. You don't have to wait for another sitting for practice. Suppose you missed one session, you can just go to the CD and watch it again and again, and inshallah you can master it. And I would say not only master, but you can teach. In fact, the best way to learn is to teach. Learn, watch the CD 1 or 2 times, collect your friends, sit with them and teach what you have learned. And 17th point is, and which is very important, is actually this is a basic training course for every Muslim. It contains those parts which are practiced every day by a Muslim. We go to Salah, we pray, we recite surahs, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through different supplications. So this is a course which is extremely necessary for every Muslim. So therefore this course will have a direct impact on the life of a Muslim. It will make his regular worship more efficient and effective. And also or simultaneously, it will make the learning of Quran very easy, because by the end of the course he would have learned 70% of the words. In each line of the Quran he will know almost all of the words except 2. These were the special features, the unique features of this course. I would just point to 2 interesting points, or a couple of interesting points that I have learned after I have taught this course. Is I found that many abwab of fi'l are important, like bab fataha, bab nasara, bab daraba, bab if'al, or bab tafa'ul, and you will learn all of them, alhamdulillah, through these tables and charts and master tables which are given at the end of the course. Anyway, to make the discussion short, I will come to the last point, which is homeworks. There are 7 homeworks in this course. For each class there are 7 homeworks. But don't be scared. They are extremely easy and practical homeworks, and they are designed to develop an attitude of learning, which is most important factor in any learning process. The spirit behind these homeworks is to make you aware that you are learning Quran. Always be this point should always be in your mind. It's like cricket fans. Those people who love cricket, whenever there is a match going on, the match goes on in their brains also, even though they are not watching, and they keep asking about the scores at different times of the day. They go to their jobs, they study, they do everything, but at different times of the day they keep asking the score, or they keep asking whether that player is still playing or not. So in the back of their minds, the game is going on. Learning of Quran is extremely blessed activity. We want our participants to always be aware that they are learning Quran. So it should be in the back of their minds. Whenever they have this time, spare time, even if it is a minute, they come back and do these homeworks. And what are they? First of all, at least 5 minutes of recitation from Mus'haf, which is actually not our homework. It is something which every Muslim should do. But anyway, so at least 5 minutes of recitation from the Mus'haf. 5 minutes of recitation while you are walking or doing anything which is not mental. That is, you are not talking, you are not reading, you are not writing, you are not thinking. Then you can do this recitation while going to office or coming back, or going to job, or coming back from office, and so on. So at least 5 minutes of recitation during these times, from those parts which you have memorized. Even if it is just one surah, just keep repeating it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will keep rewarding. 5 minutes of study of these sessions. Suppose you are studying session number 12, so study session number 12 and 13, or the one of the last class and the one in the next class. At least spare 5 minutes to study that. That's the 3rd homework. 4th homework is, at least for 30 seconds, 5 times during the day, refer to this booklet. Keep this booklet, as I said in the beginning of our talk, that keep this booklet always in your pocket till you complete the course. Make this promise with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you will keep carrying this booklet until you complete the course, and this will work as a very good reminder. So for 30 seconds, and in 30 seconds you can study many words, in fact more than 30 words, or learn a lot of them. So for 5 times a day, I would say, as a suggestion, it's not a must, as a guidance, you can refer to this booklet before or after our 5 prayers, or any other time which you find suitable. Just refer to it for 30 seconds, half a minute. So if you refer to this for 5 times a day, inshallah the lessons will be extremely easy, and your brain will be learning these words much faster. In fact, the rule of memory is like this. The way brain retains words is like this. To retain anything effectively, you should see it after 1 hour, after 1 day, after 1 week, after 1 month, and after 1 semester or 6 months. If you do these 5 revisions, inshallah that thing will stay in your brain for long time or forever, depends. So our revisions are designed like that, and that's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has designed our brain. For example, if I have telephone or if I have mobile phone, and you ask me, or you have mobile phone, I ask you, can you dial my friend's number? And you ask me what's the number, I will say, okay, 8562234, for example. And you dial that number. Suppose I ask you after 4 hours, can you dial that number please? And you ask me again, and I repeat the number. 3rd time, 4th time, 5th time you will not ask me the number. Suppose I keep asking you to dial, 5th time you will not ask me, because your brain has heard that number so many times that it will store. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has designed that anything which repeats is stored in our long-term memory. So similarly, if you refer to this booklet, and really I say that these homeworks, these 7 homeworks, constitute 30 to 40% of your learning. If you attend a class regularly, that means you have done 60% of the work. And if you do these 7 homeworks, inshallah, it will add to 40% of your learning. It will make the learning of this Quran extremely easy. Extremely easy. So just refer to this. This is our 4th homework. 5th homework is just talk to your colleague, friend or classmate of this class for 1 minute every day about what you have learned in the last class. Just for 1 minute. We keep talking to many people. Talking about this is not difficult. 5th is try to recite those surahs which you have learned. For example, Alam Tara and Quraysh, Fil and Quraysh and Ma'un, Al-Fil, Quraysh, Al-Ma'un, Al-Kawthar. These surahs, spread these surahs in your salah. Don't fix, like traditionally we do. If you want to pray, if you have to pray 2 rak'ah, we always sometimes use Inna Atayna and Qul Allah and so on. Each one has his own preferred surahs, short surahs. So try to spread these surahs so that you practice them. That's not a homework, it's just an attitude. And last homework is listen to a tape which contains word for word translation of those parts that you have learnt. We are trying to release such a tape. So far we are in the process, I would say, but you can record this tape yourself. It's not difficult. These are the 7 homeworks, and they are extremely important, and I would say they are extremely easy also. 5 minutes recitation from Mus'haf, you can do that before or after any salah. 5 minutes recitation while you walk or do anything which is not mental, and 5 minutes study of the course. 30 seconds 5 times referring to the booklet, carrying that booklet always, and 1 minute talk with your colleague, and reading those surahs at different times. Reading all these surahs in different salats during the day, different namaz of the day, and lastly listening to a tape. If you have car, you can listen to that tape, or you are in the house doing some household work, you can listen to that tape. I think lastly I would say that a typical class, I have said it but I will repeat it, that a typical class contains 4 parts, as you will see. The first part is reading the translation of a hadith, that takes 2 minutes. Spoken Arabic is our second item, which will take 2 minutes roughly, and grammar, which takes around 6 to 7, 8 minutes, and lastly the remaining part is studying Quran or Azkar. By Azkar I mean whatever is from, so for example, Tahiyyat, Durud, parts of Salah or supplications. So these are 4 parts for each class, and in each of these, after Hadith, in each class we will repeat what we have learnt in the last class and learn new lesson. Repeat the grammar that we have learnt in the last class and learn new lesson. Repeat the part of Quran or Azkar that we have learnt in the last class and new lesson. And these 4 items can be covered in 22 minutes, like 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 8 minutes. So these are 12 minutes, and remaining 10 minutes can be given for Quran or Azkar. You can spare 22 minutes, and I'm sure a Muslim can spare 22 minutes every day to learn the most important book of his life, that is Al-Quran. With that introduction, I would stop here, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept this effort and help us understand Quran and save us from any errors that have been inadvertently committed or unknowingly committed while compiling this course or while delivering these lectures. Subhanallah bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.